What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me we have some more RPG horror stories. And speaking of RPG horror stories, if you have your own submissions that you want to put in for your own personalized stories, the email is down in the description below. I will let you know right now, I'm a little bit behind. I just have the stories kind of on deck to do another time. Anyway, while I'm handling that in the background, I'm gonna get to some RPG horror stories for today. First time DM uses 3 DMPCs and plays favorites. We started a Pathfinder game with a first time DM. I didn't know at the time, but he had played a previous game with one of the other players. That game had ended early and the DM had given everyone insanely overpowered items. The DM let this player have the item when we started the new game. No one playing the game knew of this item's existence until much later. The characters are a blind monk, a brawler, an alchemist healer, a sniper of unknown build, and me, the necromancer. We each got some sort of magic item at the beginning. The only notable ones were the brawler got the juggernaut pauldrons, which gave him a large person, and I got a +5 silver dagger from my uncle that I've never used because I'm a necromancer. +5 silver dagger? I mean, can you guys trade items? If like somebody got like a really good magic items but they want a dagger instead, you guys could like, I don't know, swap them out. Or I guess you could just sell the item and buy something else, I suppose. Starting off a campaign with a powerful magic item would be kind of cool. That's an interesting concept, but it also matters as long as it's balanced. If it's not balanced, then oh boy, you're gonna have a disaster of a campaign. During our first session, we were in a peaceful area preparing for our first mission, so we split the party quite a few times. But we found out at the end the DM gives extra experience to some people, so everyone has a different XP total. I also found out that the sniper knows my uncle and is looking for him. The one red flag from earlier sessions was that me and the other person had to leave at the same time every session because there were a time zone difference. Despite that, they would keep playing for over an hour after we left. We had an event that we had been talking about going to for a while, and I missed it because it happened after I went to bed. I told the DM that I felt like I was being punished for going to bed, and he started ending the sessions when we had to leave. Not much happens until session 7. We investigate the cries of some creature we find restrained. 2 party members recognize what it is and try to get away, but the monk frees it, putting everyone in danger. Then while running away, we run into a bearded devil, and once again the party tries to flee, but the monk decides he wants to fight it. We get to safety and the monk almost leaves the party. To prevent that, the sniper uses a spell to modify his memory in the first of many times she does this to party members. I mean, if the player wants to leave or the player wants to make the monk leave the party because everybody just wants to run away from stuff, I mean, it's up to them. I get you want to keep the players together, and you probably should. And as long as the monk is not asking for like a solo adventure on top of what's going on right now, it's just, what is going on? What is happening? Why is the monk not want to be with the party or wants to go against what the party is trying to do? They're running away from a monster. Monk wants to open it up and like release it. They find a bearded devil and want to get away from it. The monk wants to fight it for whatever reason. The monk wants to run away from the party, and then they can't because they have the memory modified. Why? What's going on here? What's happening? We buy slaves to build an airship the sniper designed, and we free the slaves and hire them to staff our airship. We then head out to the sniper's mission to find my uncle. We locate my uncle, who is with his brother. The brother isn't really related to me. We convince him to join us on the ship, and this is where I find out my uncle is the character my DM played in the last game with the sniper. So we now have 2 DMPCs traveling with us who are high level. We were about level 5 and they were somewhere from level 15 to 20, and soon after we met up with my character's master, who's probably level 20. These 3 characters collectively solved all of our problems. The sniper didn't have enough money, she asked my uncle for money. If he can't solve a puzzle, my uncle has a spell that he can use. My character also had family ties, which means I have consequence for not doing what my family members tell me to, and my uncle was traveling with us. My character's uncle was a former paladin who was experiencing a disease of sorts because he broke his oath. The man was suicidal and looking for some way to die a martyr to make up for his past mistake. We'll probably spend about 15 or 20 sessions trying to find a cure for him while trying to stop him from using his powers. My character's master is a vampire. My character is part of the same religion as her, and she became his mentor. The sniper had made an enemy of my master early on by being rude and sneaking around, but she found out my master was a vampire and wanted me to ask her to turn the sniper. I told her no and said she should ask my master herself. The sniper stormed off and then used a spell to take control over my body. She then went to talk to my master, who told her that she would turn my character into a vampire, and my character could then turn the sniper. so I'm completely helpless, unable to control my character, and my fate is in the sniper's hands. Thankfully, the sniper declines and brings my body back to my room. She then alters my memory as well, as the memory of someone who witnesses her collapse when she casts the spell. Where's the DM in this situation? Where's the DM here to put a stop to players using like abilities and spells on each other? Like clearly, like what is the point of doing this? If they said no, then they don't want to do it. Don't force. Why is the DM just allowing this sort of thing? It's not necessarily PvP, but it is like a player versus player action that's going on here in order to try to take over the body and then modify memory. That's kind of messed up to do to your party members. Imagine if they found out that you're doing this sort of thing. That's a great way for party members to just split apart and not want to have anything to do with each other, because now you have a situation where you have one party member that doesn't care what other people think or care, and they can just modify the memories, control the bodies. And are you even allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do that? Why is the DM allowing this sort of things? Maybe to like NPCs and stuff, that'd be one thing, but to other party members, player characters, I don't know, man. It's like a recipe for a really bad time going on. It's not outright PvPing where you're fighting against each other physically, brawling one-on-one, but it is in a way using spells that should be used on NPCs and not player characters to get them to do something, but you're actively doing that in order to modify the memories and stuff. But for what? Just have a talk with characters in character. I don't know, man. Maybe just the type of game they're playing. Maybe just something I wouldn't agree with, or maybe I'm just something I just wouldn't naturally vibe with. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, it just rubs me the wrong way that the DM is just allowing players to charm each other and control each other's memories and bodies and stuff. It's just weird, A few sessions later, we had a big fight out of character because the sniper felt like the main character and we had no idea why this was happening. She always had more experience than us. We had to use downtime to catch up. She altered our memories as well as controlling my character. The airship crew would only listen to her, which means we only did her missions, and she spent a lot more time than other people secretly doing stuff with the DM. She was the main character and we all knew it. The sniper said she would work on it, and the DM mentioned he had chastised her after the session when she mind controlled my character. Another few sessions pass and I find out about the magic item the sniper has. The sniper has a magic item that is a spellbook and gives her wizard levels equals to her hit die. This means that while we were level 10, she was level 20. Even more than that, if she hit max level, she would end up effectively level 40. The sniper's player decided she should retire her, and she has a big dramatic death scene that also causes my character's uncle to get separated from us. It's been about 10 sessions since then, and my DM is teasing bringing my character's uncle back. Your DM has a big fixation on adding DMPCs and doing player favoritism. It's really up to you if you want to stick around with it, but honestly, sounds a little bit messy and just kind of rubs me the wrong way. If they don't have any more player favoritism, and the DMPCs aren't as important or crucial to the story, and players can actually have some semblance of player agency at this point, then maybe it might be okay. But that's going to be up to you to decide. It's not up to me to decide, it's up to you to decide whether it's going to be worth it for you or not. So, OP, I do wish you luck with that. I don't like the fact that DM is just using so many DMPCs and these powerful magic items and favoritism for the player to basically be able to go up to level 40. Besides, having a spellbook that lets you have this many spells or wizard spells. I understand wizard spells can be pretty powerful, but damn, dude, that's ridiculous. Up to level 20 wizard spells? Don't you get like 9th level stuff at that point, and whatever else the DM decides to homebrew maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding some bits and pieces, but it feels like the magical spellbook the sniper has is kind of unbalanced. Kinda, perhaps. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the situation, but I feel like if they're actively at level 10 are basically acting as level 20 and have a max cap up to level 40, then that's probably, perhaps, a balancing issue. And if your DM has a balancing issue with getting certain players really busted magical items without balancing them at first, or focusing on having the DMPCs be the main core of it all and everything, and just the whole player favoritism with a sniper, I don't know how well it's gonna work. So I'd really reconsider with the DM if it's gonna be worth it. If it's worth it for you and you're having a good time and things got better, stick around. If not, I'll probably begin looking for a new game. DM straight up said if I did enough damage, he would negate it, and the boss would walk away with 1 hit point because she's not supposed to die. Hashtag choo choo. I relate to this story so much. I know this one guy that never would let his DMPCs, whether it be enemies or otherwise, die, and I'd always run away with 1 HP. And if he tries to chase them, they'll hit you with some sort of overpowered Deus Ex Machina, where they'll just down you, sometimes even kill you, just to let them run away. It was very railroady, very railroady. I finally achieved the dream of many forever DMs and found myself as a player in the new campaign. While I went into this with an open mind and am mostly happy to finally be able to play, our DM is not good. Now, to their credit, they are new to 5e, though they apparently know Pathfinder really well. Unfortunately, they seem to have fallen into the trap of novel writing, i.e. they have a whole plot in mind of what will happen, and we're just following along. The first session was a little heavy-handed, but that's okay. Sometimes you need to set the stage for what's going on. The group is passing through gang territory and my eloquence bard rolls a 25 persuasion accompanied by a bribe. The DM suggests that I do. To be left alone? The DM responds with, okay, they attack you anyway because I can't have you avoid all my encounters. Oh my god, if you let the player roll, but they attack anyway, then why you have them roll in the first place? What's the point? Just tell them, before you could say anything, to draw the blades and attack, roll initiative. Why even have your player roll for it and like bribe them and stuff? They attack anyway. You know, it does sound like the one guy that I know a little bit, not gonna lie. Session 2, we find a strange device surrounded by a magic field. Any attempt to touch it are met with, "Are you sure?" by the DM. So, scratch that, I guess. There seems to be nothing we can do. The device is extremely heavy, surrounded by magic, and is implied to be some sort of a huge bomb. So we elect to leave the area and inform our higher-ups, we're guards, about what we found. Oh really? None of you are going to cast Dispel Magic on it? I'm really surprised none of you thought to take that spell. Smug face. Dude, we can't take it yet, we're level 3. Oh. Suddenly an alarm goes off. The mysterious woman you saw earlier returns with 4 henchmen. Roll initiative. Oh my god, this DM is so stupid. They're trying to be all smug and stuff. Oh, you guys didn't even try to dispel magic on it. I'm actually like wiggling my hip almost like I don't know, like a hipster or something. Oh, you can't even dispel magic? I can't believe none of you even tried to dispel magic in the slightest. Dude, we can't. We're level 3. We don't have that spell yet. What are you talking about? And then suddenly just throws a combat into them for no apparent reason with no plot relevance, just appears, fight! That was basically how it went. We'd seen the woman earlier when we were sneaking up, and she was presented as some sort of a powerful suspect behind the plot to blow up the city. Now, we already had combat the previous session and hadn't arrested, so I was down in spell slots and bardic inspirations. On our turn, the barbarian and I both focused our attention on the boss lady and used our best moves, culminating with me burning my only remaining bardic inspiration and 2nd level spell slot on her. We both did pretty decent damage. Remember, we're only level 3. And then it was the lady's turn, and she teleported away. This would be okay, classic cheeky DM, if he didn't immediately say, "You're not supposed to kill her. She's not in the fight. If you had taken her down, I would have given her 1 HP left and had her leave anyway." Like, dude, I get you're new, but don't tell us that. Way to break immersion, DM. Way to break immersion just like that. I get it, it's your very super special DMPC, but way to just prioritize them over player agency. If you didn't want them to die, don't have them in a fight then. Simple as that. Anyway, we survived the fight and elect to return to our base and inform our higher-ups about what we found. Then after the session, DM messages the group saying, "Good job. For your information, you guys are going to be arrested and put on trial next session. Make sure to prepare yourselves." For what? What's the charge? Not defusing the thing? Not being able to learn Dispel Magic at level 3? Investigating a crime scene as a party of guards? Ugh. Anyway, it's only been 2 sessions. Hopefully DM learns to loosen up and stop the train. At least I get to play. You know, this OP kind of uses a lot of emojis, and I appreciate that. That adds a little bit of color to emojis. I know some people don't like emojis, but you know what? I don't mind them. They add a little bit of extra flair to it. And, you know, can emphasize some of the stupid things DM has, like the smugness to it, you know? Kind of gives me a little bit of a point just to like work off of, to try to build up the voice as best as I can, for most entertainment. But we do have an edit for this story, so let's get to that right now. Edit. Since people keep asking, I've spoken to him. Yes, I've spoken to the DM many times during the 2 whole sessions we've had. I taught him how to make PCs roll for inside investigation. try to help him figure out what the 5e equivalent of a city knowledge check is, told him what bardic inspiration is and how it works. No, it's not overpowered, it's a little class feature. Strongly implied that only letting someone make a check if they have proficiency in the skill isn't the best idea, and gave him feedback at the end of the first session on how he was a bit stiff at first, but got better midway through when he relaxed the story and just let us roleplay and bond as a group. I've given him a lot of feedback and tips, but I'm still allowed to express frustrations in a Reddit post, considering I signed up to be a player, not a backseat DM. But unfortunately, you may have to play this role for a little bit, especially if the guy is new. Especially if the guy is kind of new to the whole system and maybe, well, okay, so here's the thing, right? I'm glad you said something because I feel like something needs to be said. Trying to punish players for not having Dispel Magic at level 3 is absurd. You don't even get that until level 5. At level 5, that's the only time players are even able to unlock Dispel Magic because it's a 3rd level spell in D&D 5e. Trying to punish players for not having that spell is like the same thing as trying to punish a players for not stopping the evil Lord of Doom and Gloom when they're like 6 billion miles away and didn't even know what happened. That would be the stupidest thing ever. Imagine just getting punished for something that you couldn't even do in the first place because your characters physically cannot do it. If anything, I feel like the guy should just retcon that whole thing, retcon the whole trial, and just learn from the feedback and really gather the feedback and go from there. And stop being so smug about it. There's nothing more weird than a DM gloating about how great the DMPC is or bad guys are. I've had a DM like that. And you know what happened every single time? You couldn't really have fun as a player. The fun could only come for the DM if the DM allowed you to have a little bit of fun. If you didn't like magic casters, guess what? None of your magic ever worked. He would always put in some sort of homebrew nonsense where most of your magic wouldn't work unless it was some sort of weak-ass creature that doesn't even matter in the first place. Just some weak little grunt with like 5 health on his side. But everything normal, everything proper? No. It was resistant to your magic, resistant to everything you did, and you're allowed to have fun the way the DM wanted you to have fun. And there always were like one of those situations where the DM just smugly wanted to have the BBG escape or the bad guy escape, and you couldn't do anything about it. Every attack was suddenly a miss. You could hit before on a 15, but now you have to hit on a 27. I can't reach a 27. I'm not even the level to be able to reach 27. The highest I could do is 25, DM. If I can't reach on a 27 when the bad guy is running away, of course I can't miss him. And if you try to chase the bad guy down, of course they will make those saves and then they will turn around and club you to death. And you'll just be dead trying to chase a guy. And that's it. It was just the most railroady nonsense adventure possible. And I just like it. And I feel like we need to encourage more DMs not to do that sort of thing. So I'm happy you're giving the DM feedback, but listen, if it's just not going to work out, if he's not going to listen to any sort of feedback and things won't improve, it's not going to be worth it. This is a situation where you're going to be expected to fail every single time, and the DM is not going to help you. They're going to gloat over your failure. There's nothing worse than when a DM gloats over your failure continuously because they enjoy the players suffering. They enjoy winning D&D. They think winning D&D is beating the players. There is no way to win D&D. Winning D&D is telling a fun story that everybody can enjoy and everybody can be part of. The stakes and the rewards and dramatic twists and turns, not beating the players at a game. That's not a winning D&D. That's the DM versus player mentality, and vice versa. And that's not fun for anybody. And if somebody does find fun in that, you should probably not play with them at all, in the slightest. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.